Hey, brown girl. In a world that is set up to make you question who you are, take this time to reconnect to your greatness and speak to the inner depths of your soul. Your grace is undeniable. Your confidence is envied. You radiate and shine in every space you occupy. It's time to take back your power and remember who you are. Take a deep breath. Release all doubt and repeat after me. Today, I choose to walk in peace that will not be disturbed. I will allow my mind to exist in my unlimited future. I am breaking cycles of trauma on my bloodline. I will take up space without shrinking. My ideas will impact generations to come. I belong in the rooms that I walk into. Today, I will effortlessly walk in purpose. I attract peace and abundance. When my feet touch the floor, the day stands at attention. I am calm, confident, powerful, and filled with love. I trust myself to explore the possibilities of my heart's desires. Today, I rise with the power of my ancestors. It is okay to rest from productivity. I will live my dreams out loud. Creativity flows effortlessly through me. Emotions are welcome in my space and in my body. I am overflowing with abundance. It is time to create again. It is time to dream again. Every breath brings more joy, more peace, and more healing. I belong in every room that I walk into. Radical rest is my birthright. I inhale confidence and exhale doubt. Today, I choose gratitude. It is okay to not be okay. My testimony will be someone else's survival guide. I give myself grace and space on my journey. I show up every day as my full and complete self. Growth is difficult, but I trust that I am strong enough to do it. I will always be enough. I trust myself to set boundaries that will protect my peace. My peace is my superpower. Every step in the right direction is a step in the right direction. I believe I will receive what I need at the exact time that I need it. Someone smiled today because I am still here. I believe in my ability to do things that scare me. I put out the energy I wish to receive. I will stop apologizing for being myself. My mistakes do not define me. I was put on this earth to walk out my unique purpose. I let go of drama and embrace peace. I am attracting people that align with my peace and my joy. I am continuing to heal every day that I continue to breathe. I am confident that things are working out for my good. If it doesn't bring me joy, it isn't welcome in my space. I only strive to be a better version of myself. As I walk, I shine my light on my journey of purpose. I decide to wake up each morning and choose joy. I am manifesting my happiest self. Brown girl, it's time to shine.
Hello. Hi. Okay, hold on, wait. This video is still going. Let me get rid of these things. and find the chat. My tech things are acting crazy today. And I moved my camera by accident. So hold on. Let me get y'all together, y'all. Let me get y'all together. Okay, I'm trying to send out a video to tell people that I'm on here. So give me just a second. And my other computer, it's a lot. Just hold on for just a second. Because it's a lot going on out here. Mercury retrograde is finally over, but there's also a shadow period where things still be acting crazy. And that is where we are right now. So, hey, sweet limitless, thank you. Sometimes I wonder how my voice sounds to other people. I be wondering about that because I really do not know. I enjoy listening to myself. Um, but I be wondering, I guess people have voices that sound like chalk on a chalkboard. And so I'm like, I wonder if my voice sounds like that to other people. I'm not quite sure. But you would know, you got the radio connect. Okay. Gee willikers. Okay. I just want this to go. Kind of dream talk with me. Okay, done. All right, where's what I want to say? Here we go. Boy, I tell you, this social media, it really be a lot sometimes. Okay, can we be done with this now? All right, share. Boom. Okay, I did that and I need to update. So my other computer was not working. What's supposed to happen is when I start the affirmation video and then I'm supposed to go in and like change all the things and update the such and the so, right? And so I'm trying to update the such and the so and my laptop was just like we're gonna not access your page. And so I was in here fighting for my life. I was like, oh my God, why is this not like letting me do it? Because I have a thing about like presentations and wanting things to be where they're supposed to be at when they're supposed to be there. And so I'm working on releasing that. And so I had to say to myself, you'll just do it after the affirmation video. Like, it's fine, relax. So that is what I'm actively saying to myself right now as I am trying to get the things updated because I want to make sure that I remove every barrier to being able to find what I have to say today. So hold on. All right, boom. But I was very proud of myself because my brain like went into turbo mode. Well, it wasn't even turbo, it was calm turbo. But my brain was just like, okay, we do this and then we're gonna do this and then we're gonna send this out and we're gonna send that out and da 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 da. Like it's a whole lot of logisticals that be happening behind the scenes. That I was like in the process of trying to get together. So welcome to the BTS for a second. All right, so that is saved. That is saved. The things are saved. Woo wee. So hey y'all, if you are watching but not in the chat, please do come into the live chat and hang out with me, with us, with the peoples. Okay, so I'll have my chat up here so I'll be able to see you. So I'm not going to get distracted by the things. Okay, so let's get started because I see the comment, hey, beautiful, Raina is looking good. So I want to tell y'all what I did with Raina. Um, and I want to get into all the things. This is the other thing. Zoom done started moving stuff around, and now everything is not where it usually is. And so that's throwing me off too. But I'm getting it together, y'all. Y'all see I'm up in my production. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, why I was able to do that. Okay, let's get started. Hey y'all, I'm Kimberland, and this is the Frolicking Truth, a soft space for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Here, joy meets justice. We calm our Black ass nervous systems, we unmask, and we leave behind whatever that is trying to kill us. You're seen here, you're safe here, and you don't have to do this alone. Hey, y'all. What's up? Welcome to the Frolicking Truth podcast for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. It is okay if you don't identify with any of those descriptors. It just means that when you come ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to support. My name is Kimberland, and welcome to my world. I am so excited to be here today. There's so much that I want to catch you all up on, and so much that I want to tell you. And I also recognize that there are people who are coming into this space, and this is your first time meeting me. And so I'm really, really excited about today because I'm going to allow you to meet me. It is going to be a good time. Okay. So hold on. My electronics are fighting me. So I have Google Home in my house, and I talk with my hands a lot, and so that's one of the signals to start or stop a video. And so every time I do this, it's going on and off, and like, girl, release yourself from your responsibilities. But I also need to be able to see the time. So like, we be having to get the electronics together. They be doing the most. Okay. But anyway, so before I jump into the things, I want to give a shout out to the chat. First of all, so again, if you are watching this during the 12 p.m. Eastern time frame, come on into the live chat and you can talk to me, you can ask questions, you can talk to other people that are there. Also, you can tap the screen that is going to put up a whole bunch of hearts or laughing faces or whatever on my side. All of those reactions and all of those things help with the algorithms and help to like push this out to the people that need to see it. So thank you to those of you who are in the chat. Shout out to the chat. If you are listening and driving, girl, drive safe, child, and drive safely. Okay. All right. The other shout out that I wanted to give was to the keepers who are over in the archive. They are the Patreon that is over here. It's called the archive, and it's called the archive because we are in a place where we are losing recipes and history and all sorts of things every single day. Like every day that passes, things are kind of just evaporating into thin air. It really reminds me, I found out recently that my great great grandmother was indigenous, and it reminds me of how a lot of, and my family goes back to Cameroon. A lot of our family traditions and things were orally passed down. And so, if we're not actively keeping those stories and keeping those experiences, they soon disappear. And I really believe that right now in 2026, it is so integral for us to be documenting what is happening right now because the future is absolutely going to want to know. And so I created the archive, and in the archive, there are different collections that you are able to go into. For example, there's the Change Corridor, where I was talking quite a bit this week. I got into a room, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all about it, but I really told them about it. There's also the Sunflower Path, which is a healing collection where we talk about like herbalism and things that we can do in order to restore our bodies. And then there's the Inner Circle. That's my actual area where I just talk about things that are happening in my life. And so I'm telling you all of this because I want to shout out the keepers because they are keeping me. Okay. It's a lot that's going on in my life, and every bit of that $5 goes to support me and goes to support all of the work that I'm gonna tell you about that I'm doing and that I have been doing and that people are connected to me are doing. Those $5 goes directly to those things. So I want to shout out the people who have been in the archive and the people who are coming, because it really is meant to be a place for us to be able to connect and have conversations that are important to us right now. So if you go to patreon.com/minding my black ass business, you will be able to join the archive. There is also a free version, and the free version allows you to at least get notifications. So if there is something that you see a notification and you're like, "Ooh, I really need to get in there for that," like keep your notifications on so that you are able to know when it's time for you to get on in the room. And again, I'll be talking about rooms in just a minute. So I'm pinning this in the comments, and I would like to thank you for that. And again, shout out to those of you all who are already there. Your $5, baby, is well used. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to share before we get into the things, these are announcements, but also this is stuff like that's happening in this universe. Okay. We have the Healing Circle, and the Healing Circle is a space exclusively for Black women where we are able to reconnect back to our bodies and back to our breath. And hold on, I hope this works the way that I really want it to work. I think it is. Okay, this is making me happy. Come on, production. So anyways, so the Healing Circle is a space where we are, as Black women, are able to reconnect back to our bodies and reconnect back to our breath. And every time that we have the Healing Circle, we always have a yoga flow, which is led by Vanessa, who is the well educator. And then we have some type of, how do I want to call it? Um, a discussion, connection, opportunity to speak with others and really process what we have experienced and what our intentions are about why we are being in that space. So the Healing Circle takes place the second Saturday of every month. So our next Healing Circle is going to take place on Saturday, April 11th, and it starts at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So you do have to register, and you go to tinyurl.com/. Black Women Healing Circle to register. And it's a free space. You just have to be a Black woman. Okay. So if you're not a Black woman, send this or tell a Black woman about it because it is a space that is designed to hold healing for us. Okay. So that's that. Okay. What's my next announcement? From Auntie with Love. So, From Auntie with Love is our newest podcast that is here over on the Mind of My Black Ass Business Network. And From Auntie with Love, we are four aunties in different stages of life that are talking about the things that didn't get talked about, but they really should have. And so we had our premiere episode no, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I think it was March 8th, I think was the day. And so we had our premiere episode, and it was kind of just like a little introduction. These are the aunties, and this is who we are, all the things. And then we're about to have our second episode premiere tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. So tomorrow is the 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern. The next episode is going to premiere. So let me share this clip with you all right quick, and hopefully it will work. My screen feels like it's fighting me right now, but let's see if it will work.
Because I can't cook good. And you know,
and I don't like to. So that everyday thing,
Yeah.
you lost.
I be wanting to be in the bag. Like I go to the Whole Foods. I go to I get the fresh thyme. Okay? I get the rosemary, I get the dill. And
that dill
maybe I shouldn't have combined all three of those.
No.
But
no, those definitely don't go together.
well,
maybe I shouldn't. Well, maybe you should start there.
Yeah, maybe there you have it. Because when I learned about pimentos, I'm not gonna get on a tangent, but what I'm just saying is, even if I would like to be a stay-at-home mom, I couldn't do it because he would come home and be like, "What is this?" And I know right now, he be trying to be nice about my cooking, but he'd just be like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't need nothing to go." Like, I'm good.
Yeah, we've got to have a girls' night cooking experience. Okay. We've got to help TT out.
Like,
we got to.
You must but he still love it here. You know, he just don't like the cooking, maybe. And he be trying to be nice about it. You know, I see him adding the salt, but you know,
does he cook?
Savannah?
And he don't know how to cook either. So we both just, he doesn't know how to make turkey burgers. So that's what I'm saying. So
y'all kids gonna be just out of
listen, you know what's gonna be cool because they ain't gonna know the difference.
You right.
They ain't gonna know what's good, what's bad.
No, they don't know.
Just
they let them come to auntie house. They like
Mom, why food don't taste like
life will be changed. Like, yeah, my mama can't.
So I'm gonna pause it there. But when I tell y'all, this is one of my favorite places to be. They are so funny to me. I be cracking up so bad. And so all of the aunties are in their late 20s to early 30s. And then I'm 45. So I'm, on the cusp, if you will, like the older auntie, but still trying to keep in touch with the young folk. Because I believe that. I believe you should always have young people around you, because if you do not, you fall into not understanding what's happening in the world. So we have to have bridges. And speaking of that, when I was looking at the demographics for this page, the other day, and our highest demographic is 35 to 44. And then our next highest demographic is 25 to 34. And then our next highest demographic is 18 to 24. So this really is a space where the young people are coming to figure out what is I'm supposed to do, Auntie, because they are not talking about these things. And I really did that intentionally. Like, I really did intentionally create a space where people are able to ask those questions. I wasn't able to ask questions when I was growing up. So I always wanted to be a safe place for people to be able to ask questions. I did the same when I was in my classroom. I, would have the conversations. I was a science teacher, so I really got away with a lot of conversations that we were able to talk about, and we would talk about sex and their bodies and how to make good choices and critical thinking. Like, I really had a lot of opportunity to do that. And so it's something I do pride myself on, is that being a safe place for young people, but also to be connected. They be funny, bro. So I really be cracking up on From Auntie with Love. So anyway, episode 2 comes out tomorrow. It focuses on family dynamics, and it premieres at 6 p.m. Eastern right here on Minding My Black Ass Business. So please do make sure that you watch and that you like the videos and that you're subscribed to the page and all that. The aunties will be in the chat during the live premiere. So you'll kind of get a sense of how everybody operates. Okay. And so the last thing that I want to say before I get into the auntie check-in is I want to remind everyone that we are still accepting applications for Found Her Future, and I'm going to talk about Found Her Future in just a moment. Because I want to go a little bit more in depth, right? But Found Her Future is an internship program that is a collaboration between myself, the Kimberland Jackson universe, and Shekinah, who has the Let's Talk Sis universe. So we came together and created this program, Found Her Future, and it is an internship program that is open to women 18 and up. Our primary focus is on Black women. That is our mission, is about amplifying and educating and creating a safe space for Black women. You do not have to be Black, though, in order to be a part of it. You just have to understand that the work that you are doing is to further resources and access for Black women, which ultimately should help every woman, right? So anyway, 18 and up, and there are specific areas that we're looking for, and these areas are also growing. So as I'm talking today, add said area, okay, that may come up. But let's take a quick moment and let me just play the commercial right quick so that you can see what we need. So you can find out more about Found Her Future by going to tinyurl.com/found her future. I'm going to also put that into the chat so that you can click on that and get more information there. And then, like I said, in a little bit, I'm going to talk more about Found Her Future. But first, I want to pause right here and do the auntie check-in, okay? Every single day, more and more, I keep saying to myself that I'm an auntie for real. Like, I really am having to embrace that I'm an auntie for real. And it's kind of jarring, like in real time, I think, to just be like, that was a very auntie thing to do. And I'm talking from needing to freaking adjust my glasses, which I wound up getting these like stopper things on the back of my glasses. So now they don't fall down as much, but I can't make it too tight because then it's going to make the back of my ears hurt. You know, so it's like finding the common ground for that. But every time I push up these glasses and then I need new glasses, and I've been needing new glasses for a long time. And so now when I'm looking at stuff, these eyes is getting to adjusting, and I'm like, it's weird. It's really weird to experience yourself aging like in real time. And so it's very interesting. Like things have just been interesting. So anyway, auntie is an auntie, and I am working to embrace that. You know, as some people like Jackie Ina, I'm not a fan. I'm really not. It's a lot. She's a lot. I think my difficulty is that right now in this time where there's so much at stake, luxury content is very difficult for me to ingest because it feels so deeply out of touch. And I understand that it is their job, but it also, morally, it just feels like, oh, so when is enough enough? And what are we doing to build community and coalition behind the scenes so that we are actually able to sustain ourselves and not collapse into the pits of despair over the next 10, 12, 15 years, or however long this next period of time is going to be in this new world that is forming. And so I really, really have difficulty with like luxury and billionaires and, ooh, look what I got. Like it's a lot for me right now. But anyway, I brought her up because she be blocking people if they call her auntie. Now, she is younger than me. Let me see if I could look on this internet. Look, there I go doing auntie stuff. Let me see if I can see how old she is. I also know that she has her own version of the beehive like type of situation. So she's 38. Wow. She's not that much younger. Okay. And I also don't know in her culture like what that word means because I also know that the way that in my experience, African people and people that have close African roots, like once or twice removed, that auntie is like, it has a meaning, like it really means something. And so she does not want that ascribed to her. That's not my issue with her, though. She has a right to not be called an auntie. My issue is more about like the luxury things and stuff. But, but anyway, she'd be blocking people if they call her auntie. And I am working to embrace it because one, I don't believe in my experience, in my lived experience, I don't believe that it is meant to be an insult. I believe that it is an honor. Like when you get to the place of being an auntie, it's like, yes, I have nieces and nephews. Yeah. Like I've been here on this earth long enough that I have multiple decades of experience to be able to give back in wisdom. And so I don't see it as an insult. So anyway, I be doing auntie things, okay? So this is the auntie check-in where I be updating y'all on what's happening in auntie's life, okay? Because I also live by myself and I think it's important to let people know and there are people that care. And so I'm telling you things, okay? So let me see. Oh, the first thing is Raina. So Raina, child, this morning I did me a real life wash and go type situation, honey. I started washing my hair at 10 a.m., knowing full well that I was about to have to get here on this computer at 11 a.m. And let me tell you, I was finished washing my hair. I started at 10 a.m. I was finished with everything that I needed to do with my hair by 10:30 a.m. This is what I want you to understand. Me and Raina had us a good time this morning. Hey, Tushin. We had us a good time this morning. Okay. And so it's interesting because my hair, like when my hair starts to grow and it's like able to stand up on its own and do fancy things, that means that it's getting about that time that I need to wash it. It's getting dry. But I like that look. So now I'm like trying to figure out like where, because Raina was getting cuter and cuter by the day. At first, I ain't gonna lie. When I first chopped Raina off, I say I made a big mistake. Oh no. That's the first thing I said. I was like, Kimberland, you are always doing something, girl. Sit your ass down. Why did you do that? And then I had to keep walking myself off the ledge like, no, girl, because you was going for a look. You was going for a look. That's why. And also because I wanted to revive my curls. Because there really is a patch up in here, which mind you, I'm not like chopping it all off right yet. I am though eventually. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Probably when I turn 50, it's finna go. Okay. Sis is about to have a get up and go for reals. Okay. But anyway, So there's a patch in here that is not, the curl pattern is not matching any of the rest of my hair. So I'm really trying to figure out like what's going on with that area or whatever, because it's just that area. And I've been talking about that area for a while over time since we started doing these auntie check-ins, and I've been giving y'all these Raina updates. But nonetheless, I washed Raina so quickly this morning. I used Tabitha Brown's Donna's Recipe shampoo and conditioner because I just had a little bit left, and I'm trying to like actively use the things that I've had because I never wanted to be a product junkie. I like a lot of one of the things when people were asking me for a long, long time about going natural. First, I used to be like, who is finna do my hair? Because I really believed that my hair was unmanageable. Like I don't, it was a lot programming. But anyway, I would say that. And then I was like, I don't want to just have a whole bunch of products. Like people that had natural hair were just hoarding hair care products. And I was just like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to know this is my thing. This is what I do. This is what works. And we're done with that. Like we got a recipe, bada bing, bada boom. And so anyway, I still had some leftover Donna's Recipe. Donna's Recipe really was the hair care that I really, really liked best with my hair. But of course, they don't sell it here. And so I have to get it from Amazon if I were to get it. And it is on my birthday list though. So if it's, which is very much still active. Okay. So if you would like to bless me, this would be something that would be absolutely delightful for my day. You go to tinyurl.com/Kimberland birthday 2026. Matter of fact, let me drop the link in the chat, okay? Because I don't want to miss out on the blessing, Lord. I don't want to miss out on a blessing. I don't want to miss out on a blessing, Lord. I don't want to miss out on a blessing. This is a very auntie song. Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, that just got into the chat because, amen, somebody might say, girl, let me send you a year's supply. And girl, the way I be dancing up here. Hey, y'all clip this and get this down there to Tab. I actually been on Tab's in the Donna's Recipe universe a little bit because they have this Friday Cousins chat that they do on the Instagram. And you can go on there and answer questions about the products, and you win free products, and they bring you on the live and everything. I got a picture of it on my page, child. Now, you know, me and Tab, we are only a few degrees of separation away. And I do believe that she is somebody that our paths are going to cross. But anyway, I love her shampoo and conditioner. So I had used the last of it this morning, and baby, them curls was bussing when I got from out that shower. Okay, there was the time out. Okay, it was a good time. So anyway, I used my flaxseed gel that I had made the other day. So I used the last of it. Well, I still have some left, and I also got chia with these things. It's called flax seeds in my hair because I did not have a mesh strainer. And so some of the chia seeds had got through. Okay. But it's all right. I just have to remind myself that it's a flaxseed and it's not like an insect egg or something, you know, but it's fine. But anyway, it really was literally like wash and go. Like I was like, okay. Oh, and I had made some rosemary mint clove water. And but I also forgot to spray it on there for real a lot of the time. So that was messed up in my system. I'm getting my system together is what I'm saying. And then I put olive oil on my hair. So we'll see what happens and how it dries and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm trying to get to, y'all, what I'm trying to get to is that I was able to do this from start to finish all within 30 minutes. Girl, you couldn't tell me nothing this morning. You couldn't tell me nothing. Okay? I said, Raina, girl, we in here finished with hair in less than 30 minutes, girl. Ah, it was delightful. So anyway, so that's what's going on with Raina. Also, let me tell y'all, I got my medicine. And this is what I want you to know is that it matters. I was talking, so I did a video on Wednesday. So one of the perks of being in the archive and being a keeper and having access to the inner circle is that we do just as Kim on Wednesdays and we just be chatting it up. So I be talking about stuff, they be talking about stuff, we be talking about stuff. This last Wednesday, I recorded a video and it's called A Letter to People I Know. And I am going to release it publicly. I just haven't done it yet. But I said all that to say I was sharing on that video that I had just gotten my medicine. And I have been without medicine without the correct medicine since since the beginning of the year. And just for clarity's sake, when I'm saying medicine, I'm talking about plant medicine, okay? And so I haven't had my correct medicine. I've had medicine. I shared with you all that I had won a giveaway. And so I had a different type of plant medicine. So I was using that and I was doing my best. I was doing my level best, okay? And also my brain was like gasping for oxygen. Like it was critical over here. Okay. And so I got my medicine, and now it feels like I described it the other day, like I walked into a office space and the lights were off, everything was covered up, you know, with them dust cloths or whatever that they be having in the movies, and like everything's covered up, and then you got to get in there and blow off the dust and organize stuff and like get stuff together. That's what it feels like in the department in my brain that controls my creativity, that controls my hotline to God, that controls a lot of the necessary systems and things for me to think about everything that I'm about to tell y'all about in a minute about what we're doing when we get to the dream talk. And so it has made such a huge difference having my medicine. And I really look forward to what God is going to do in the day. Like it makes me really excited to be like, to like say to myself, I've talked before about like this concept of like tagging God in and like doing that intentionally and being like, all right, God, I'm tagging you in. Um, and needing to do that. And I've been doing that, but it has not been also with this department open in my brain. And now it is. So it's literally been like, I wake up in the morning, I'll take my medicine, and then God is like, sit down, girl, let me give you your instructions for the day. And then like I get all of these instructions and like, okay, I need to do this, I need to say that, I need to put this here, I need to put that there. And it is like so it feels like I'm back. Like it feels like I've been in this shell, and you all probably didn't know the difference. I was sharing with them on Wednesday that I probably was operating at like 15 to 25% of my capacity. And so like each week it was just getting worse and worse. And now that I have my medicine, it feels like that department in my brain opened. And now things are like flowing so clearly. And so I've really, really just been looking forward to each day and being excited about what each day is going to bring, because I'm literally watching things happen in front of my face, knowing that this is happening in front of my face. And it is the coolest feeling. I don't know why cool is what I went for. What I really wanted to say was awesome, but I also feel like we don't use awesome in the way that awesome is really intended to be used, because it is awe-inspiring to literally watch God do things in front of your face. It is wild. So I want to tell y'all a little bit. Okay, wait, we have a question here. Do you have to order these from the US or are they available in South America? It's possible that they're available in your area. We'll have to talk offline so I can give you a little bit more information about about how and how you might go about finding them. But yeah, it is a world of difference. It is a world of difference. And so I'm just so grateful to be in a space where my brain is actually not just functioning, but it is like thriving. Like it feels like I don't know cars. I don't know cars. Y'all have to correct me in the chat, but I'm finna use the car analogy. Like when they tell you to get your fuel injector cleaned, or like after you have an oil change, like your car runs smoother. It's like that. Like my brain had a lot of gunk in it and the wheels were barely turning. And now everything's like, and it just is going. And so it's been really cool. And so because of that, one of the ideas that had came up in my head was I really need to help you all understand what is happening. Because somebody also asked me this question. They were like, how were you able to, how do you know like that God is talking to you? Like, what are, I keep hearing you say this, like, what does that mean? And so we had, a discussion about what that could look like or whatever, but very much that's ask the question, ask, and then pay attention, right? With intention is how it starts. So anyway, y'all know that I am, wait, hold on. I have a mechanic here in the chat. They said, yeah, clean fuel injector is a good analogy. Also, y'all, I was watching, I don't know if y'all watch Funny Marco. And so Funny Marco is, I don't even know what you call it. Maybe it's called like deadpan comedy or something. But I wonder if I could find a clip. He has this show, and hold on, I'm not gonna be able to do two things at one time. Give me a second. Let me try to find this. Um, I hate having to search things on Instagram. Um, the Rand Bernard. No, that's not him. Okay, there it is. So there is a singer named Duran Bernard, and he just won a Grammy. And he like ran up. I think that was for the Grammy. He like ran up to the stage and like fell out afterwards. Like he was very much like animated. And so anyway, Duran went on Funny Marco's show. And Funny Marco again is he's a comedian, but it's like deadpan comedy. Like, and so you really can't tell sometimes if he's trolling or if he's not trolling. And so it is so funny to me because the reason I bring this up is because we've been doing this, right? And Duran said that's not what you do. I was trying to find the clip because he said something in particular that I don't want to say. But he said it's not this, it's actually this, which is the middle finger. So the way that it was described, because me and Kalanda had talked about this on So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese one time, because we was trying to find out like what's the correct way to say clock it. This is what we thought clock it was, and then this is applause. And so Duran like corrected the record and he was like, this is not it. And this is what it is. It is always this, no matter what you're doing in any situation, it is this. And so he like broke it down so it could forever and consistently be broke. Anyway, said all that to say, I got into a room the other day and I've been in this room before, but I've kind of been, so when I go into spaces, and when I'm saying a room, this was a virtual room. So when I go into spaces, I really a lot of times just be peeping out how things operate in the space, right? And also I am a person who curates spaces. And I am very intentional in how I curate spaces. And because of that, I also sometimes can have what the people would call a takeover spirit. And I don't want to do that, nor do I want to put myself in a position to be responsible for doing that. Because usually what happens is I show up and I be like, why don't you do this? And then it's like, why don't you do that? And so now I'm responsible for something that I don't need to be responsible for. So anyway, I've been in this room before, and but I've never really said anything. And I'm also like a chat person, so I will be in the chat and again kind of peeping out the scene, see how y'all roll over here, let me see what's up, whatever. Why am I here? Because ultimately I'm knowing that I had this idea, let me go to this space, which means that God told me to go to this space. So why am I here? What am I supposed to do while I'm here? So I'm over there in the space, and if you're in the Patreon, I put up a video to talk about where I talked about who it was and whose space it was. I'm not gonna say that publicly right now. So anyways, so I get into the space, and the first thing that they said, something, not I forgot. So at some point, somebody has said, oh, they was talking about a lady had an art show that was coming up. So she was showing her artwork, which by the way, I don't know if I have ever made this clear, but since I'm telling y'all who I am today, I painted this painting that's behind me. And I have just like recently really started considering myself to be an artist. My medium of choice is acrylic paint. But um the lady was showing us her art. And so she was telling us the meaning behind it and all this. And like, so when I go to art museums, like especially modern art museums, I be reading the placards. I'm a placard reading ass bitch, okay? What is the thinking that happened behind this? Because on the outside, you just looking at it and it's like, oh, that's nice. But it actually has such a deeper meaning. So for instance, this painting here I did in October of 2023. And I started this painting because Kalanda, my cousin, had moved to Medellin. And one of the ways that she would process what was going on in her world and in her mind is she crochets. And so she had a mood blanket that she had when she was living in the States. And then she blew up her life and was like, I'm out of here. And then she came to Medellin. And so she wanted to process what those feelings were and everything through crochet and a mood blanket. Well, I don't crochet and I also don't like to have things but painting and art is something that I wanted to be using in a more expressive way, in a way that had more meaning. And so this painting is a mood painting. So there was a key that I created, and it was like, if I'm feeling these particular moods, this is what color it will be. And then there's also, and let me bring it a little closer maybe so y'all can see. So the gold that is there represents the Japanese art of Kenjutsu, I believe is how it's pronounced. And or Kenjutsu, I think that's it. But anyway, the gold that's there represents imperfections. And there in that art, what they do is when pottery is broken or like a dish is broken, instead of throwing it away, they mend it back together with gold or with platinum in order to honor the story of that particular piece. And it could be pottery, it can be dishes, what have you. And so I chose to do that because this has been quite a story. During that time is when I had Did I say 23? Maybe that was 24. I think that was 24. That was 24. It was October of 2024. Because what was happening was I was taking myself off of my prescription medicine and I was transitioning over into plant medicine. And so at that time I was being very diligent in monitoring my moods and feelings and emotions and all that kind of stuff. And so anyway, this is cute, right? It's like, oh, that's real cute. That's back there. It's got all them colors, girl. That's nice. But understanding the story that went into it makes it so much deeper, right? So that's another side of me that I think is important for people to know, that I am an artist, because I'm also a scientist, and sometimes those things don't exist together. So, anyways, so I'm in this room. This lady is talking about her art, and then she mentioned the Fisk Jubilee Singers. And I was like, hey, I went to Fisk. Like, so I typed it in the chat. I'm like, yes, Fisk alum, da 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 da. Right. So I kind of like just made note of that. So then the conversation continues, and somebody says something, and I don't recall what they said right now, but they were like, because we need to like be building community. Like we need to be figuring out like what everybody does so we can build community or something to that effect. And I wrote in the chat, yeah, because I'm here in Medellin and I have been doing that globally behind the scenes for a while now. And so then but people are talking, right? And then one of the people that was talking looked in the chat and they were like, oh, because Kimberland said that she's been in Medellin and, that's pretty cool. Like, what is that experience? Something, something. And so I immediately unmuted and I was like, hello. Oh my God. I feel like I've been waiting for this moment all my life. I didn't really say that, but that was the type of energy that I came with. And so I just kind of started talking about what I do. I was like, I'm an intuitive melanated life coach, and I help people build deep personal relationships with God. I've also helped people to leave the US. I, am in complete agreement with, yes, we need to be creating this community and network and resource map. And yes, yep, y'all own it, type of energy. And so I was talking for a while, because then people, of course, once I mentioned I live in Medellin, then people are like, how do you leave, right? And what does that look like and sound like? And one of the conversations that we had to have is that the window is honestly closing to be thinking about leaving. Like it is getting more and more difficult to leave, especially people who think that they're going to be going back and forth to the US. That's not about to be happening that easily. Very, very soon from now. Um and so I kind of had to be like, so if you are already not in active preparation to be slipping out before the wall goes into effect to keep people in, like you need to really be focused on community right now. And I kept talking about paradise. And so again on Wednesday in the Just Ask Kim, we were talking about paradise and talking about like the different roles that people have within this quote unquote apocalyptic world. Now, let me tell you something about Kimberland Jackson. I don't be liking no apocalyptic type stuff. I'm not with no zombies and all that. Let me tell you what my zombie apocalypse plan is. Die. I'm out of here. I don't want to turn into a zombie and be here longer. I don't want to be fighting zombies. I don't want to do any of that. You understand me? I don't want to be here for no zombie apocalypse. All right. Also, though, we are moving into a stage, I don't know what to call it. I don't know that it's going to really be apocalyptic, but very much think Paradise meets Handmaid's Tale meets Get Out, somewhere up meets They Clone Tyrone, somewhere up in there. Okay. It's going to be somewhere up in there. And so because of that, there are different preparations, you know, that we need to be making. And again, that's why I'm creating these spaces, right, for all of this to happen. So I'm kind of like sharing that with them or whatever. And so we then started having the conversation about community and resource mapping and what does everybody do and what work have you already done? And I realized in that space that I have been doing a lot of the work and building of infrastructure for a particular part of the process that needs to happen. And so um, where do I want to start with all this? So I think the easiest thing is to, again, if you have not watched Paradise, I really do recommend that you watch it. It really, I think, can spawn and spark some very interesting conversations. Because there's like so much going on and there are so many different storylines, but then it all kind of fits together. I'm really enjoying it. But the reason I bring it up is because in any revolution, there are different roles that people have. So there are people who are on the front lines. Then there are people that are responsible for being back at the camp. There are people who are cooking. There are people who are making sure there's water. There are people who are constructing homes. There are educators. There are nurses. There are all these different types of people, right? And I have been asking myself for a really long time about what my role is in all of this, right? Because even back in 2020, I was saying, I know I'm not supposed to be on the front lines of no protest because I don't know how to shut the hell up. I'm going to jail and I can't go to jail because I live with OCD and I cannot do that. I cannot do that. Right. So I had to be very intentional about how I was showing up. So no, I'm not on the front lines, but I have access to thousands of hundreds of thousands of millions of people here on the internet. So let me turn on this microphone and this camera and let me get to talking about the things that need to be talked about, right? So back during 2020, I was like talking about, hey, we need to talk about our purpose. We need to think about faith. We need to think about what it looks like. I said back in 2020 that I was leaving Florida and I said, I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I'm supposed to leave here. I had no idea I was going to Pennsylvania. I had no idea I would be living outside the country. None of that was even on my radar at all. Take the honks as confirmation. Okay. So anyway, and so I had continued asking myself because then after that happened, once I got out the country, I had to like heal. You know, I've showed you all pictures multiple times of what I looked like when I first left the US. I was 225 pounds. I was inflamed. I was stressed the hell out. My hair was shot. Like I was not well. I was pre-diabetic. Like it was a lot that was going on because of how I had been like having to live. And so I had to figure out how to heal myself and how to get myself to a place of having a calm nervous system. And then I wound up having a full on mental health crisis playing around, coming back to the US and couldn't even like wrap my mind around what I saw. This is something, so in a minute, I'm about to like weave Discover Your Destiny into this, but I think it's important for you all to really understand who I am because I had said on Wednesday, I was like, there are people that are connected to me and they're basically monitoring spirits. There are people that are consistently monitoring what I'm doing and what I'm saying. And I mean that in whatever aspect that you take that in. Okay. So I'm trying to be more. So anyway, so on Wednesday, I had said that I know that there are people that are here that are like actively wanting to destruct what I am doing, destruct me, like all of that. I am very much aware of that. And I am also very clear on what my instructions are of what I am supposed to do and what I am supposed to build. And that is what I have been doing. So I said all that to say, one of my gifts for impacting people is that I am a dream awakener. And a dream awakener is an apostle. I didn't talk about it, and I just did a reel the other day, but I need to do one about this. So I'm a dream awakener, and my mission in life is to go and to establish and to get systems in place, and then I move on to wherever the next place may be that I'm supposed to move on from. And learning that about myself was really essential because it helped me to understand why certain things would happen in my life. It's 12:12 right now, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. Amen. So the other gift that I own is I am a prophet or a heart revealer. And so a part of that is being able to see and being able to predict and being able to say, I've been talking about this since 2020. I've been on the internet asking us, what are we going to do? What are our roles? What does that look like? What you supposed to do? How are you going to show up when the time arrives, right? And so a lot of times what happens with people who have the ability to see is we're early to what we say. And so people back when I was telling y'all know how God told Noah to build the ark, and Noah out there building that ark, and all them people sitting there laughing and, oh, you so stupid. It ain't never rain. What is rain? Rain? What the hell is rain? We ain't never even had that before, you know? And so Noah kept building that ark though. And then one day it started raining for 40 days and 40 nights. And now here you go. You done watch me sit here and build this all these years. And now here you go trying to get on here. There's not room for you now. Because I got to get two of every animal on here. And the only people that's left are the people that stuck beside me, which was my family. So that's it. I guess we the new people in the new world. That's what has been happening. Is I have been saying things all this time, and I've been working all this time to do these things. And now the time is arriving. And now people are like, but wait, but wait, but wait. What about I'm not ready? How long I've been telling you to get ready? So anyway, that is what the gift of prophecy looks like, right? So I want to pause here for a moment, and I'm gonna play this commercial right quick because I need to get something for my tea so that I can drink it so we can get into the things, because I'm really going to take us on a little journey, if you will. And I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be phenomenal, but we'll do that right after this. What if the thing you've always called too much was the exact thing God designed on purpose? This is for the ones who've always known they were different. Too sensitive, too loud, too knowing, too intuitive, too woo-woo. But what if your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your intuition was your inheritance? Discover Your Destiny is a 10-week sacred journey back to yourself. We explore the design of your soul, your spiritual gifts, and the unique way that God speaks to you. This isn't church. It's not a rule book. It's not a performance. It's the moment you stop chasing approval and start walking in divine alignment. You'll gain clarity, language, and confidence around who you are and what you are here on the earth to do. You'll learn the real voice of God. And if you feel called to go on to become a certified intuitive melanated life coach, this is where that path begins. There are 2 ways to enter this sacred container: the Destiny track, full investments and coaching experience, or the Divine Exchange track, where internship meets soul work. You'll support podcasting, content creation, or brand development behind the scenes while learning how your unique gifts benefit the collective. Your knowing isn't a flaw, it's the fingerprint of God. This is your invitation, and I hope that you'll answer. These folks is really cutting up some bad outside on this Saturday afternoon. They are cutting up some bad. So I'm gonna put the link to Discover Your Destiny to the website into the chat. I'm going to also say again that I'm on live right now. So if you are able to come into the chat, feel free to come in and interact with me. If you are here lurking, God bless you. All right. And may you have every piece of what you have put out into the world show back up to your space 10 times over. Okay. So I put the link to Discover Your Destiny there in the chat. It's also in the description. Okay. But the website is dyd25.com. Okay. So I'm in this room. We kind of burst the bubble. You're not going to be really able to leave. We need to be thinking about community. Like, what are your roles? What are your things? What are your things? And as I'm talking, there was a guy that would usually like be the host or facilitator, but they weren't there. So they finally got there. So they unmute their mic and they're like, who are you? Who are you? And where can I find out more about you? Because what? And it was the funniest thing to me because then he said, I was about to Google you. And I said, you should actually, you actually should. I think that is really smart for you to Google me. And he was like, because you are such an eloquent and captivating speaker. And he was like, I just really feel like where are you? So I give him the YouTube page and everything. And now they're connected, right? And so when I said I was like, I approached this with the energy of like, oh my God, I've been preparing my whole life for this because I knew that God was like tapping me on my shoulder because mind you, I've been in the space, I'm passively listening, I'm in here cooking my chili and like, I'm not really paying attention. And then I hear Fisk University. Oh, well, hey, then I hear something, whatever made me type about being in Medellin. So now I'm in the room and I'm speaking and, people are like, yeah, we need to know who you are, girl, and what you do. Right. And I've been telling you all for a while that the people are coming. I'm like, the people are coming. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who they are, but I know that there are people who are actively looking for me and looking for this community. I'm very aware of that. And so as I am making decisions and choices behind the scenes, it is all with that in mind. So I want to this what I'm gonna say before I get into that. So Discover Your Destiny is not just something like that I read about and it's just like, we should do this and that, da, da, da. Now, I do research, okay? I am a scientist and I do believe in research. And a part of my research is my lived experience. This is the literal journey that I went on as I was trying to free myself out of an abusive relationship, as I was trying to heal church trauma, as I was trying to heal trauma about my mother. Like, this is the literal journey that I took every single time. So when people are messaging me and they're like, how do you know it's God? Because I literally took this journey to understand how God shows up, how I know God is talking to me, how I can talk about things with such conviction and such like resoluteness because I am very clear on my connection with God. Like the portal is open. Okay. So having said that, I was like saying to myself, I'm like, if people haven't necessarily been following me, they don't really know and understand who I am. And so I need to introduce myself to y'all so y'all understand who I am and why I show up the way that I show up. And so on the Discover Your Destiny journey, the first module is called Who Am I? And in that module, we talk about our spiritual gifts. We talk about our gifts for impacting people. We talk about the through lines that have happened through everything. And I even made a reel this week because I do every time I do Discover Your Destiny, I also go through Discover Your Destiny just to a deeper depth. And it's what I love most about what I have created, because you can do it over and over and over again and learn more and more and more about yourself. You're never going to know enough, and you're never going to know enough about God. So like you can continue doing this over and over. So for me, I wanted to make that known, right? Because the reason I'm so passionate about it, the reason I can be so clear, is because I've seen it happen over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. And so in that first module, Who Are You? I was like, well, let me tell the people who I am. Because also when I first started Discover Your Destiny, I was a very different person. That was 2017. I was still not fully out of that relationship. And now I've been through so much life and I have evolved. And my visions and missions and all of that have evolved. So I have talked to you all before about the brand Bestie, Shekinah. And Shekinah is who I partner with for Found Her Future, our internship program, right? So Shekinah and I literally manifested each other. She was praying to God and being like, this is what I'm looking for. And what I was praying for was somebody who really understood branding and marketing and could help me take all of the things that I have in my head and create it into a universe. And that is what we have been doing, is really figuring out what this universe looks like, this ever evolving universe, like what this looks like and how people can be connected to it. So we created this. Now, I'm not about to go through all of this, but I did want to bring up a couple things. So my entire mission for being here is to help people to awaken to your divinely designed identity, help you reclaim your wholeness, your purpose, and your power. As someone who has been and felt misempowered and disempowered, the whole point of everything that I do is to help people understand that this is what we are supposed to be doing, right? And so I do that through creating this global ecosystem. I've told you all before that I have life coaches all over the world in different places that are doing things in their own special way of how they are helping people to learn more about themselves. So it's focused on Black neurodivergent folks, people who are wanting to live in full alignment with their purpose, spiritual gifts, and their personal truth, where emotional integrity, divine communication, and nervous system safety are foundational, not optional. Okay. That is why I do what I do and how I do what I do. Okay. That is at the core of everything that I do. So, in that, I am very aware when I say like all of those different roles that are present. I am very aware that my role is to exist in the healing space. So if you think about, actually, let me show y'all this video. I was watching this video from Lovey Ajayi Jones. She just put it on her page the other day, and I think it is going to encapsulate exactly what the next thing is that I want to say. So let me just pull this up.
A lot of us are walking around wounded and we need to get off the battlefield, but a lot depends on us, so we don't think we have an option to. But I'm getting off the battlefield. This last 5 years especially has wounded me. I have taken some hits, but I usually adapt quickly. I pivot, I learn the lesson, I do the next thing, which is resilience, right? But I feel like a soldier who's been fighting, who has dodged some bullets, but some hit, who has been hit by shrapnel. And each time I just take a little Band-Aid and try to put it on top of the wound, and I keep going because the platoon is dependent on me. And now I can't ignore the blood that's gushing out my leg. And I finally got to a point where I was like, I think I need to step off the battlefield and go bind my wounds. Go let God bind my wounds too. Go sit still. Go face the corner. Go on time out because enough. But in January, I hit a wall. And that wall was really to tell me, hey, stop moving. Go no further. It's time for you to go sit in the corner, be on timeout, and get yourself together first. Because when you are a soldier wounded on the battlefield, you don't keep going. You actually should step off and let your wounds heal. Because without stepping off, you're just going to get rewounded over and over again. My wounds have not even been able to turn into scars because I've been rewounded before they've healed. So while I'm trying to pivot from one massive what the hell, what the fuck happens, my assignment for this next 6 months is to tend to me, to tend to little Lovey who is exhausted. Who am I well rested? I've never met her. Who am I without having so many responsibilities and so many things I have to handle every day? I don't know. This is the time for me to get still, to quiet the noise, to hear from God, to ask God to bind my wounds for me. And I am gonna go sit in the corner for 6 months. The only thing I feel called to do is write right now. I want my creativity to come back to life. Who am I when I'm not deep fried, when I'm not burned out? I'm burned out. I'm tired. I don't have no more adapting for anybody. So I'm giving myself the gift of stopping. The power of the pause. I need to learn who I am when I have nothing to offer. I need to learn who I am when I am just pouring into me. I'm leaving room for God to God. I am leaving room for me to be blown away in the best way. Consider this an out of office announcement. I'm officially out of office.
So, you might find yourself connecting on either side of what I'm about to share. But what I want you to know is that everything that I do is to have a safe place for people such as Lovey to land, for people that are saying to themselves, I am burnt the hell out. Like, I cannot do this anymore. I was talking to one of my interns the other day, and it's been a lot. Like, after they finish this piece of their like real work life, there's going to be some deep healing work that we're going to need to do, because the corporate world right now is mad wild. Like, it's mad wild. And so we have had the opportunity to leave from college and walk into this new situation. And I'm grateful that they had me to talk to start prepping them for some of the things that they needed to think about, because many of us did not have that. And my intern is 25, 24. So a lot of us did not have that guidance. We just walked into this battlefield blind and had no idea the type of harm that we were going to incur. And so again, a part of me embracing like being an auntie is being able to pass this wisdom down and pass this wisdom back to the next generation. They really got enough to deal with, y'all. Honestly, they about to have to keep this world together with duct tape. And they should not be having to figure everything out when we have lived experiences that we can give to them. And so that's really what led us to create Found Her Future, because it is a place for us to be able to connect with young women as early as 18 and to really help them to prepare for what life is going to look like, help them to think about and understand who they are so that they are able to walk confidently into these spaces. And ultimately, I would like for them to never even have to go to those spaces, that we have enough projects and we have enough things that are going on over here that they can enter a safe space to be able to operate in their gifts instead of going into the world that is going to do everything to turn their gifts off. And so that's what Found Her Future looks like. And we start that off with everybody that's a part of the Kimberland Jackson universe. You got to go through Discover Your Destiny. You have to understand who you are. You have to have a communication language with God. One of my life coaches is here. They said, you created the channel and the language between you and God. And I used to watch this life coach in Mexico City. I watched them develop their language with God and like how they understood themselves. They were one of the first people that told me that they were neurodivergent and made me really start asking myself, maybe I am as well, because I understand everything that you're talking about, right? So anyway, giving people the gift of being able to have a pathway and direct connection to God is my reason for being here. Like that is what I'm doing. And so I do that through every avenue that I have going on. So Discover Your Destiny is really like the core of the universe. It is where the pathway starts, right? And then, but let me not even say, and then, so there are also some soft launches into that space. So you just heard me talk about the Healing Circle a little bit ago. And so the Healing Circle, I did in collaboration with Vanessa, who is my mentee. She called me one day and she was like, I don't know if you know this, but I've been calling you my mentor. And so I just want to let you know that. So now that you know, and I'm like, all right, girl, I got it. But anyway, Vanessa is a yoga instructor and like trauma informed and really like developing out what that healing practice looks like. That's not my specialty, right? So girl, let me just partner with you and lift up your stuff, girl, because I don't really know how to do that, right? So now we have this mutually beneficial space where women are able to come and receive connection back to their body and back to their breath. Sometimes we don't even know how wounded we have been, as Lovey was talking about in that video, you just piecing things together by a Band-Aid, until you get into a space that allows you to actually breathe for a minute. We don't be breathing, y'all. We do not be breathing. After this today, I'm going to do a breath work. Because also spring just started. I don't know if y'all know that. And so spring is the actual new year. I have like 7 convergent thoughts right now, but I also want to say this because I think this is important. I was watching a video the other day, and they were talking about people who use lemons or limes for deodorant. They also talked about it's always the deodorant conversation is always where these things happen. But I was like, this is really how people be looking at me. This is why these people calling me a witch, because I'm really like talking about scientific and spiritual things, which is so crazy because that is literally where God is. And like, what are y'all talking about? It's so wild. And so that's also something I'm actively processing because it makes me very, very uncomfortable. And so that's also why I was like, I need to tell them who I am, because somebody asked me that. They were like, what do you feel comfortable being called? And I said, I'm a healer, I'm a dream awakener, and I'm a heart revealer. That is who I am. And it really encapsulates the bigness of it. It is as big as your mind went to when I said those words. That, yes, that, and probably more. I watched Matilda this week. Boy, this ADHD is on one today, but y'all finna get this stream of consciousness today. I was watching Matilda this week because me and one of my friends were talking about the like magic and miracles and like how God be showing up, because again, we're literally watching things happen in front of our face. Things that we've said to each other are literally happening. Okay. She be sending me the text messages talking about it's happening. And I'm like, I know. We've been preparing for this. Like, come on, you know. But anyway, we were talking about magic, and I was telling her that when I was little, so mind you, Matilda came out, I was in high school. So I had kind of already had like my magic bubble bursted, and I was very much illogical. But I always loved Matilda, and I always used to ask myself that if I thought that I would be able to move things with my mind. And I believe that that is possible. And I also believe that it is possible that I might have that ability. And also, that is so wild and so crazy and so scary. But even if you just think about it, not in like actually physically moving things, like I am so aware of the depth of my gift and the depth of the impact that I have on people's lives, that I am also so fully aware of the responsibility of having that ability to impact people's lives, of having people stop and be like, now, who are you? Because I need to Google you. I didn't know nothing about you. Now, wait, what? Because you're talking good. I'm very aware of that. And so it's very important to me to use that responsibly. Everybody does not think about that second part of using it responsibly. Okay. So, Lord, I have 17 billion thoughts in my head. So, anyway, when you hear me talk about these different spaces, this is the thinking that is going behind it. Thinking about people like Lovey, thinking about people like my intern, thinking about people like one of my sorority sisters messaged me this week and was like, I feel like I need a sabbatical. And I'm like, we already talked, like, we already know this. Yes, we already talked about this, right? And then I have another sorority sister who is counting down the days until she is about to take her life back over, right? So it's a great responsibility of things that exist over here in the Kimberland Jackson universe. And when I ask you all to be a part of the Patreon, this is what I'm asking you to be a part of. I'm asking you to be a part of a safe place for people to come and to be able to get their wounds healed and to come into deeper understanding of who they are. And so, in that, there's also another side of this that I need people and I need y'all's help. So, when I used to be with Beautiful Brown Girls, I had this talk show on a organization called Beautiful Brown Girls, and I did the online talk shows. So, one of my talk shows was called Brown Girl Boss, and then I had another talk show called Brown Conversations with Sab. And during that time, mental health became like my pillar, right? I used to also want to be Miss America. And I always used to think about, they all have like a pillar or a thing that they stand for. And mine is mental health. And so, because of that, I had started doing mental health panels because I felt it was really important for us to start having these conversations in our communities and really talking about what mental health is and what that looks like and what that sounds like. And because of that, I have relationships with a lot of Black women mental health specialists. And the other day, God was like, okay, we need to put out an all call for the mental health specialist because there are people like Lovey, like my intern, like my sorority sisters, who are going to need that support so that they are able to then ask themselves, who am I actually? Because when we are in the world and we're in society and we're in these spaces that were never created for us to be successful, once you finally get out of that space, there is a lot of healing work that needs to be done because you don't even realize how much you were fighting for your life. You don't even realize that you was bleeding everywhere. You don't even realize it just becomes the new normal, and you've cut off pieces of your brain and closed departments so that you're able to continue going because you hopefully see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. I've been there. And so once you get yourself out of that situation, there needs to be mental health support so that you are able to get yourself, and it might even be you're still in the situation, but you need mental health support to process what's happening and actively prepare an escape plan, right? So one of the things that I'm working on right now is creating a directory of Black women mental health specialists who are able to support people who are coming out of war. They're coming out of the war zone, and now I need help trying to figure out how to piece my life back together and what is even happening in my brain and why all of a sudden am I stuttering because I've never had a stutter before. What is going on? And so in the next week or two, I'm going to be sending out emails to the mental health specialists that I know to have them to join the directory that we've created in order to collect the information for our mental health specialists. And so let me pull up the link so I can tell you what it is because I literally just had a brain fart just now. So hold on. Oh, where are my links? There it is. tinyurl.com/KJU mental health directory. So let me put this into the chat for y'all. So if you are a Black mental health specialist. And specifically right now, I'm working on the mental health specialist. If you have a different gift, like maybe you're not a mental health specialist, but you are in the healing space, maybe you do yoga, maybe you do sound bowls, maybe you do human design, maybe you, I don't know. I need y'all to tell me in the comments what your gifts are. Okay, I need you to tell me what your gifts are because basically what I'm doing is I am creating it's called the Sunflower Path is what it's called. But I'm creating a directory of support and healers that are going to be in these spaces to help people as they are coming in off the battlefield. And so I need my first space is getting the mental health directory prepared because I really do think that is going to be for those who are like getting to that burnout space. We need to get them triaged and get them together and on plans and possibly on medication so that they're able to get out. So that's where I'm starting. But after that, then I'm going to be starting with the different types of healers. Okay. And so when I ask you all to connect in the Patreon and to be a part of the archive and to be a keeper, I'm asking you to connect yourself to this universe so that we can refer you out and recommend you and you can recommend people to me. And we have this network and system that can catch our people because people are about to in various ways have these realizations like I cannot do this anymore and I've reached a wall. I cannot do this. And so I want to have the infrastructure in place so that we are able to support them as they are transitioning. Okay. Human design, shadow alchemist, and inner child healing. That's what Jasani, who is one of my intuitive melanated life coaches, he works in that area. Okay, so my point is there are a lot of different ways and different opportunities to be connected to the Kimberland Jackson universe, to be connected to Minding My Black Ass Business, to be connected to the network of people that we have. And behind the scenes, I am actively always looking for additional people and resources to be able to plug in. So that is the benefit of being in the Patreon, of paying $5 a month, of having the opportunity for me to say, You're working on this. I got you. Got it. We got it. We have our own network. I was watching something just this morning, I believe, and there were two doulas who were in the room with the lady who was about to give birth. And they were escorted out by 6 security officers or 6 policemen because they said that the doulas were interfering with the medical care when all the ladies were doing was sitting there. The mother was very well able to speak for herself. She wasn't comatose or not. She's very much talking for herself and saying that she wants her doulas in the room. They pushed the doulas out of the room, escorted them out of there. The mother didn't want to have a C-section. They forced her to have a C-section. This is stuff that's happening currently. Right. And so it's not going to be safe for us to go to these people's hospitals thinking that we're going to get top-notch care, because why? This is where we have to practice the radical acceptance of what is happening in the US. And so because of that, this is why I reference Paradise. Like, people are going to be opting for home births. There should be a team of people that is able to go to the home to support this mother in bringing life into the world, because we know how to do this. This is ancestral. We know how to do this. And so all of this stuff like lays on my heart. And I'm like, we've got to have this infrastructure in place because people are coming. So my ask is for you to be connected. If you have not joined the Patreon and you have the ability to join the Patreon, it is $5 a month. If you go to patreon.com/mindingmyblack-ass-business, it is $5 a month. And that $5 goes to support getting all these things in place, because these are some very lofty ideas and a lot of stuff. Oh, I didn't even say the people that I need. Hold on. Before I even get to that, let me run down who we need. So we are looking for app developers, illustrators, animators or graphic designers. We also need editors, people who exist in the social media space. We're looking for those folks. We're also looking for mental health specialists right now, and then healers and people who exist kind of in the healing and creation space. So whether that's inner child healing, whether that's human design, whether that is astrology, like whatever that looks like, I need you to tell me what your areas of expertise are in the comments, please, so that we are able to find the people that we need to get connected to the sunflower path. Okay. I also do want to say, please know and understand that I am very much vetting people that are a part of this universe. I do not just work with anybody. And there is nobody that I'm going to work with that I have not talked to and spent intimate time with. Okay. So I also need you to know that and understand that, whether that is for you person or whether that is for somebody that you consider recommending me to, please know and understand that they will be vetted, because it is important to me that our spaces remain safe. And that is another reason why these spaces are existing behind a paywall, because we have to have a level of safety to be able to build the infrastructure that we need. Even me saying all of this online right now, this is kind of the last time that I'm going to talk about all this in this manner, if you will, because I really need us to just get in line, if you will. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to say is that what I decided is I was trying to figure out a way to be able to kind of pull the curtain back so you all are able to understand what happens in Discover Your Destiny. So today we talked about me, right? Who am I? And I've shared and showed and kind of popped the cap back. I don't know what the saying is. I open my brain so that you all can get some understanding into what I'm doing and what that looks like. I also shared with you different parts about myself. I'm an artist. I am an educator. I'm a scientist. I also am a healer, a dream awakener, and a heart revealer. And so what I want to do each week during this time is to talk about the theme, if you will, for that week's module. And so module 1 we just had, and that question was, who are you? And so I invite you again to share with me in the comments who you are. If that looks like sharing what your gifts and talents are, if that looks like you sharing words about who you are, I want you to tell me who you are. I want to understand who is here. I know there are people who are watching every week, right? I really want to understand who you are so that we are able to figure out how we can be there for ourselves and for the people that are connected to us. Now, next week's module is who do I want to avoid being? That's what we're going to talk about next week. Because with every gift, there is a use of the gift and there is a misuse of the gift. And it is important for us to know that. You know, when I talked about knowing that I have this influence and knowing that people listen to me and like understanding I have the ability to see and know, there are also ways to misuse that gift, either against yourself or against other people. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. Okay, is who do we want to avoid being? Now, if you have lingering questions, there are things that you're wondering, I need you to put your questions into the comments, okay? So that I can answer those questions for you. And, you know, basically class is in session is basically what I'm saying is we about to go to Discover Your Destiny Light. All right. Now, if you want individual, you know, things and all that, we're going to have to get you either in our Destiny Exchange track, or you can the Divine Exchange track, or you can go through the Destiny track. Either one, we get you on in here and you get to understanding for yourself. But we're going to do Discover Your Destiny Light so that I will be reintroducing myself to you and kind of showing you how this line of thinking, how this manifests and what this looks like and sounds like. Okay. So, yeah, if that's something that appeals to you, please do be here next Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern. That is when class is gonna start. All right. And you know, bring you something to write with or something to sip on, whatever, while we're having class. But that's what we're going to be doing for the next several weeks. Okay. And that also helps me so that I can be aligning the different things that I'm talking about and being more intentional with communicating what is happening behind the scenes. Okay. So let me see if there is anything else on here that I needed to share that I may have forgotten to share. I'm a plug again. Please do join me in the Patreon. Join us in the Patreon. It's patreon.com/minding my black ass business. That is where you are able to get the information, get connected, find the community, and or find healing from whatever situations that you might be going through, because it's definitely a lot that's going on right now. And I know that, and I'm getting your private messages, but I need us to really tap into the system. You know, the system is created. And so if you are wondering, like, should I be getting connected? Yes, you should. Yes, you should. And there are different ways to do that. So again, you can do that through the healing circle. You can do that here on Saturdays. You can come in closer through the Patreon. You can join free, or you can support the work that we are doing for $5 a month. And you can sign up for Discover Your Destiny and get your journey started to be able to have a deep personal relationship with God and to be able to meet yourself through God's eyes, the way that God looks at you and the way that God sees you. It's a powerful thing. It really is. It is very, very powerful to be able to see yourself with new eyes. So having said that, let's go ahead and get into the closing thought for today. You have heard the vision and you have seen the pieces. I have opened my brain to you in order to help you to see what I am building and why I am doing this. So the real question now is to ask yourself, where do you fit into this healing community that we're creating here? Are you someone who needs to participate in being the safety net for those who need to be healed? Or are you someone who is in desperate need of healing? Right? So please do ask yourself that question and respond earnestly about what that looks like and what that sounds like for you, so that you are able to really get connected and get plugged in. What I'm doing is really about building together, right? A lot of times we build independently and we build in silos. And this is really about us getting back to our roots and activating the community and the resources that we have within the community. And when we do that, we're able to expand healing through connection, through contribution, through people deciding that their gifts are not random, right? Everything that is in you was put there on purpose. We really just have to understand how we are supposed to use those gifts to be able to impact the world. So my goal is to help you to identify them, to embrace them, so that you're able to show up in your best light and really discover your destiny. So if something in you has been stirring, or you're saying to yourself, I feel like I might need to do that, I urge you not to overthink it. Don't wait until you feel ready, just respond. And I've given you multiple ways to be able to do that, all right? So if you would like to donate differently from that, if I do have Cash App, $ Kimberland Jackson. I also have Venmo, which is at Kimberland-Jackson. You can also buy me a coffee at /Kimberland J. All of that information is also in the description, as well as my birthday list and a whole bunch of links of other things that I talked about, okay? So having said that, I really appreciate you all for hanging out with me. Our closing quote today is by Audre Lorde: "Without community, there is no liberation." All right. I will see y'all the next time that I am here. And again, that will be next Saturday at 11 a.m. What is it? 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay. All right. Let me find my screen, see where y'all at. Okay. There you are. All right. I'll catch y'all next time. In case, hugs and kisses, drop me some sunflowers into the chat. I really, really appreciate you. Bye. Thank you for listening to The Frolicking Truth, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. Please be sure to like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Minding My Black Ass Business, and follow me on all social platforms. Until next time.